We are grading every single NFL draft class based on three categories. First of all, we're going to grade based off of whether or not the team drafted the players that fit their needs for next season, as well as the overall talent that they got, just assessing the draft class as a whole. And then finally, the value. Is each player worth where they were drafted at? Were they a steal at that position, or did the team maybe reach a little bit and not get as good a value as they could have if they had traded the pick? And then after that, we're going to go ahead and give them an overall grade. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video.
After Joe Flacco had to step in to replace an injured Anthony Richardson for half the season, hopefully Anthony Richardson's able to stay healthy for the Colts as they went into the NFL draft needing a tight end, offensive guard, cornerback, linebacker, and an edge rusher. And with their first round pick, they got a pretty good steal. They got the number one tight end in the draft, getting Tyler Warren at pick 14. I was surprised the Bears didn't take Tyler Warren at number 10, considering they wanted a tight end. While Colston Loveland will be just fine, I just think Tyler Warren has so much offensive capabilities. And I think in this Colts offense that is already dynamic with Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson, this is going to be a very fun and chaotic offense to watch next season.
Yeah, and then with their second round pick, grabbing JT Tuimoloau out of Ohio State, this was a really, really good pick. This is a very deep edge rusher class, so I think that this overall turned out to be a really solid value pick as well, getting one of the better edge rushers in this class. I don't really see any way that this goes wrong for the Colts. Great pick here.
Absolutely. Third round pick, they took Justin Wally from Minnesota, cornerback. Does address the cornerback need, but they did reach quite a bit to take him. He's a little undersized too at 5'10", 190, but does have good hands and knocks the ball out quite frequently. It's just going to be a matter of is his size going to cost him at the next level? But since it takes a need, it's a pretty good pick.
Yeah, next up, they grabbed an offensive tackle out of Iowa State, Jalen Travis. He's 6'8", 339, and I mean, he's a big guy. They needed offensive guard. Maybe they're planning on moving some pieces around to make this work. It was a little bit of a reach, but probably somebody who's going to see some playing time this year, at the very least, a depth piece.
Into the fifth round, they took DJ Giddens out of Kansas State, a running back, probably going to be a backup and maybe a third down back for Jonathan Taylor. Or if Jonathan Taylor is still dealing with some injuries, could end up seeing some more playing time. Could end up feeling like that Naeem Hines role. Maybe he's going to be a special teams player as well. But very solid pick. Definitely got him as a steal. He was maybe a early fourth round, late third round talent, and they got him at the middle of the fifth round. So overall, pretty solid pick to get another weapon for this offense.
Yeah, and you were talking about how Anthony Richardson has struggled with injuries in his career so far. So the Colts drafted a pretty solid backup in Riley Leonard, another dual threat quarterback. Overall, he probably won't pan out to be a starter in the NFL, but he's definitely going to be a pretty good backup, I think, and somebody you can definitely trust to go into the game when they need him to.
Absolutely, kind of the same mold as Anthony Richardson. Maybe a little bit bigger, not as fast, but still that dual threat quarterback, like you said. Just one pick after that, in back-to-back picks, they took Tim Smith, a defensive tackle out of Alabama. Not too flashy of a pick, just kind of right around where they needed to pick someone like that. Not necessarily a need either, but an effective defensive lineman to add to their roster. 6'4", 302, maybe a little undersized compared to some of the other giants that are in this draft class, but overall, still a very solid pick.
And then to close it out, they grabbed Hunter Wohler, a safety out of Wisconsin. Most of these seventh round picks, it's really just which guy do you like the most at this point. Not too much to say about this. He led the entire Big Ten with 120 tackles in 2023, stepped back a little bit last season, but still led Wisconsin in tackles. So probably going to be a pretty good value pick here. Should maybe see some playing time at safety this season. Taking a look at the needs grade, that's going to be a B. They hit three of the five, did not address offensive guard or linebacker. Maybe we'll see some pieces move around a little bit to make it work to address some of those needs, but for right now, it is going to be a B. Talent wise, though, this is an A minus. I think Tyler Warren, JT Tuimoloau, Jalen Travis is maybe going to work out on the offensive line. DJ Giddens, though, I think he was a really good value pick. Riley Leonard was a smart pick to make as well, just in case you have a problem with Anthony Richardson again. Value wise, this is going to be a B plus. We saw a few reaches, particularly Justin Wally, but other than that, nothing too terrible. Jalen Travis again, a little bit of a reach as well. So overall, going to be a B plus.
Yeah, overall, just a very solid draft class for the Colts. I think getting Tyler Warren was something that they weren't expecting, but definitely is going to pan out in this offense. And maybe even working out with Hunter Wohler too, because he did come down from a safety position into that linebacker area. And linebacker was their need. Granted, he's not the end game linebacker that they need, but definitely can fill in that role for certain defensive sets. But yeah, the Colts did a very nice job of boosting their offense and defense in this draft. So I wouldn't complain if I was a Colts fan here. So thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more of our videos. And we will see you in the next one.